Back to the Football Terrace. Hit like buttons, subscribe, share this video across your social media platforms, in your group chats as well. I want to get as many opinions on this as possible. I really do, because the Man United fan base is beyond split right now. Beyond split. There is a Grand Canyon-sized chasm within it. And if I'm being honest, there's a lot of accusations flying around that the people are angry, are being fake. The people backing the manager are completely deluded. Everybody's forgetting about the Glazers. And I understand all of this. And I think it's all really unfair. This is Man United fans that care deeply, are passionate about their football club. They're desperate to see United run better and achieve more. And it's essentially, it's making us all go a little bit kooky. All of us. Now, I'm somebody who has stated, I think it's time for the manager to go. And the amount of replies that I get, genuinely, that are like, how dare you turn your back on the manager? We're never going to break the cycle if we sack him. We have to stick with him through this so we become a better football club. It's like, I don't think you're listening to what it is that I'm saying. The Man United fans are angry. I don't think people are listening to what they're saying. The Man United fans that want to stick with Ten Hag, I don't think people that disagree with them are listening to what it is they're saying. There is a lack of dialogue here. And that's why I want your opinions, not just I think you're wrong, I think I'm right. I'd like to know in detail what you think. Now, what we have seen today is more leaks coming out the club, more problems being highlighted, which tell me Ten Hag is at the end, coming to the end of his tenure, coming to the end of his life as Man United manager. Whether I like that or not is irrelevant. It's the reality of the situation that we sit in. Now, I'm going to go through these stories. I'm going to tell you what I think and why my mind is where it is right now. And if you think I'm wrong, please debunk the why behind my what. Because as much as I think the manager's coming to the end of his time and should go, it's not what I want. But sometimes in life, you have to be open. You have to be honest. You have to wake up and smell the coffee and not be so stubborn. Now, some of the stories that are coming out, some of the leaks that are coming out today, and the headlines about Ten Hag show me the mess that we're in as a football club. First of all, it says here the comment about wanting to play more football after the win over Brentford made by Eriksson when explaining his decision to take off Casemiro did not go down well in the dressing room. It says here that others have raised eyebrows at Ten Hag's decision to leave Varane out of the starting lineup in the Manchester City game. So leaks from the dressing room, they're not happy with his handling of the squad, who he's picking. This is atypical to player power at the football club. But again, the owners and the board, through years of experience, we know allow these leaks to come out. It's their way of testing the water about what to do next with the manager. This next headline I thought was an absolute Glazer PR masterclass from them, by the way. That says Ten Hag's hard man act is no longer works and the players know it. Now, this is a dog whistle to everybody that hates how Ronaldo was treated, hates how Martial has been treated by being ostracized out the team, hates how Sancho has been treated. And I think what's really intriguing about this is, as much as I think the manager's got to go, it's because I think he's lost the dressing room. It doesn't mean that I believe he's got every decision wrong at the football club. It doesn't mean that I suddenly believe that Sancho has been the model professional and at no point deserves to have been dropped from this team. Do I think Ten Hag's handled it in the right way? No. But this is where we have to think with nuance and have discussions. I don't believe Ten Hag has got everything wrong. I don't believe his decision-making, especially when it comes to the discipline side of this football club, has been incorrect. And if you're backing this approach that he's got to go because he's too disciplined, that element is wrong. He only has to go, in my view, because the players are not going to play for him anymore. So no matter what the owners say, we're going to stick with the manager, we're going to stick with the manager, we're going to stick with the manager, these players are going to down tools. They know the owners are not going to follow through with that. So therefore, the reality of the situation is he must go, even if it's not what you want. More leaks, as you can see here, that have come out that Ten Hag is not close in terms of on close terms with many of the Manchester United players, like there is a divide between them. Simon Stone says that numerous sources connected to Man United say that the ownership situation needs to be resolved quickly. so that there is more clarity over Ten Hag's position. So there's a view that maybe Sir Jim, if he gets this control over football, will come in and remove the manager. The players are, of course, picking up on this. And the players do this a lot when managers are under pressure. They down tools. They leak information about how bad he treats us. They leak information about how they don't like the tactics. Because what it does, it makes fans think that by sacking the manager and by bringing somebody in who's nicer, sweeter, has better tactics, who could be flavour of the month right now, i.e. the Sporting Lisbon manager, a De Zerbi, it hoodwinks you, it gaslights you into thinking, if we sack the manager and bring somebody new in, we'll be fixed. And that isn't the case either. And that's my big argument with people at the minute. Terry, how dare you think we'll get rid of the manager? We won't get any better. I know. But we're also not going to get better by keeping him. There is no medium to long-term solution. And why is that? I got called out on my own channel by Maradon. Okay. And I want to explain this. I'm not going to put his comment up, but I want to read you out his comment here, right? It's really important to read this out and why I think this is key. He says, you can't take Terry seriously. Such a hypocrite. He wants Conte to replace Ten Hag, but always says you don't bring in a manager with a different philosophy. Bro is waffling like crazy. And of course, that generates, a lot of people to say, like, yeah, Terry's right. He's become a hypocrite. But it means you're not listening to what I'm saying. And I implore people to. And if you don't and you criticize me, I'm not going to take your criticism seriously, because you should never pay mind to people that haven't listened to you. Ten Hag is a project manager who should be installed in who I believe to be trying to instill a philosophy of football that has connections to the way Ajax play, that we were going to try and install deep into Manchester United, not just the men's first team, but across the board. That is what we were sold at the beginning. Go back and read all the original articles and stories. That is what we were sold. What we now find out, by the way, through his words, okay, is that he is never going to try and install a long-term plan. We're going to continue with the short-termism, pragmatic football that we have been used to over the last 5 to 6 years. So if we're not going to install a long-term project with a philosophy of football that Ten Hag is accustomed to coaching, then I don't want him as the manager. One, we're not going to improve medium to long term anyway. Secondly, if we have a short-term plan for pragmatic football, then we need a manager who is good with short-term plans and pragmatic football. Because as much as I don't believe we're going to get better in the medium to long term, you have to make the best of the situation that you're in. And I still want to win football matches. I still want the team to be as good as possible. I don't want the team losing 8 games out of 15. And I don't see us improving. And when you look at the volume of these links and you see the headlines today from The Athletic that state the manager is safe for now, but unrest is growing. Maguire and Santos situations are causing problems. The play more football comments are a major issue. The ownership uncertainty is a complication. And it also says, by the way, there's no succession plan. And that last little line in this article, go and read it from The Athletic, is the cherry on the icing on top of the cake, which shows that this club is dead, that shows that this club is a disaster, that demonstrates that whether we stick with the manager or sack him, it's almost folly, because we are never catching the Man Cities. We are never catching the Real Madrids. We are never catching the Bayern Munichs and the best teams in Europe and the best teams in our country, irrespective of sticking with him or not, when we are run the way we are. The fact that we see these leaks is the major problem. It really, really is. And I'm just at a point where, although I've stopped thinking medium to long term, and do you know why I've stopped doing that? Because of what the club has just told us. They've told us there is no medium to long-term plan. So why are we thinking and putting our opinions out there in terms of, let me get my wording right here. Why are we saying, no, X, Y, and Z is the best thing for us medium to long-term? There is no best for us medium to long-term. We are run short-term fixes. So we need the best possible head coaches to manage short-termism. And that is people like Antonio Conte's. It just is. You may not like his style of football. You may not like the sound of having no strong future, but it's what Manchester United are. The only way around this to get that medium to long-term growth you want is to boycott the football club, pull your resources, pull your money, and force the Glazers out. That type of change will help. Now, is the only other green shoot of hope is that Sir Jim does get full control over the football matters. He brings in the right football minds, clears the board out as best he can, barring Glazers, and he gets full control, he gets autonomy, and he gets it right. But the irony is, most Man United fans that I read online that say you've got to back the manager for the long-term plan don't think the long-term plan of Sir Jim coming in is going to work. So I'm confused. And maybe I am being defeatist. Maybe I'm just going, do you know what? This is the best of a bad situation. Let's do it. But I don't see any other way out. I feel as though saying stick by the manager to break the cycle, we've got to try and eradicate player power. I feel like King Canute. I feel like I'm standing at the edge of the beach, demanding the tide doesn't come in. But then suddenly my ankles, my feet, my knees, my body is wet. If you don't know who King Canute is, go and research it. I'm sure you learn about it at school. I feel like King Canute. I've been talking about this for so long. The only resolution is for us to boycott. Not enough fans want to boycott. So I'm at a point where I'm saying I'll fight that fight. But when people now say, what's the best thing for Man United? I've got to live in reality. My standards are high for how I want the club to be run. But if we're not being run that way, my solutions in the reality of our situation have to be an echo of how we behave. And that is a short-term plan. And Ten Hag, I think, is a brilliant coach. I think will go to another club and do an amazing job. But he will not be successful now at Manchester United due to what he himself has told us, the leaks that are coming out, and this debacle of a football club headed up by the root cause problem, which is the Glazers. Now, some of you may not have got to the end of this video. You may have got, no, not listening to Terry. He's a hypocrite. He's turning on the manager. You haven't listened to the reason why. If you want to debunk my reason why, I welcome it. Maybe you'll help change my mind. Maybe you'll help me look at this in a completely different way. But I implore Man United fans to stop fighting each other and listen to one another. I implore Man United fans to stop taking digs at each other online and listen to each other. Now, I think I'm right, okay? Not because I'm arrogant, not because I've got an ego. I'm just basing it on history, the leaks, and what Ten Hag has told us. Now, if I'm wrong, explain why I'm wrong about those things. Because maybe I could do it a different way, and then my message is better. I'm not here to say I'm better than you. That isn't the message. I don't believe that. I'm stating I can't see no other way forward for the club. Let me know what you think, people. How do we fix Manchester United? No rivals to say you can't, you're dead. And I get it. But Man United fans, what do we do? Hit like button, subscribe. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.